And live.
Woo! Woo! Hey everybody, I hope you're all having a great night, and I hope you've enjoyed the casted match we had for you guys tonight. If you guys did enjoy it, please let us know, and we'll be glad to keep doing them for you. If you didn't see it, then please tune in at the end of the show. Hopefully we'll be able to do it for you guys again. Anyways, welcome to the Top Cut. I'm Krems, and with me are Michael Pramawat, Drew Holden, Kyle Puka Sukovic, and our very special guest, Joseph Bolton. Would you like to introduce yourself real quick, Bolt?
Yeah, my name is Joseph. I play in the New York area. I think I've been referred to as the most famous nobody in Pokemon. I've got a few years of playing experience, recently with very high-level players, so I think I know a little bit about what it takes to win, I hope.
You absolutely do.
Thank you.
Also, he's on 2 Worlds decks. His name is on 2 decks.
My name is on 2 decks, that's right.
Which 2 decks are they?
2007's Senior Division winner, Rambolt, which I actually did create the deck list for, and most recently, Michael Pramawat's 2010 Boltivore, which I had absolutely nothing to do with the creation of.
But man, did it make you more famous.
It did, and I appreciate your putting my name on that deck.
Don't short yourself. You were his inspiration.
I did invent Gardevoir.
Sure. True story.
Was that a short joke? Was that a short joke, Kyle? Seriously?
Huh?
Was that a short joke?
Oh, no, that's pretty funny.
Never mind. Bad joke. Alright, does anybody else want to introduce themselves? Sorry, Bolt.
Well, you didn't mention Drew, I don't believe.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, everyone.
Okay.
It's alright, nobody cares about Drew anyway.
It was just so,
Alright, I'll forgive you.
it was such a small introduction for him that I just missed it.
Hopefully only on for affirmative action anyways, so.
Alright, well anyways guys, we changed the format up a little bit. So now instead of having a billion questions and a billion viewer questions, we're going to actually just focus on a couple of them and just hit them really hard. That'll shorten up the video a little bit more, so that'll hopefully be better for everybody. If you guys don't mind getting started, I'd love to ask you guys the first question now.
Sure, shoot.
I guess.
What do you guys think is the viability of Stage 2 decks in a format where Rare Candy is nerfed and Stage 1 Pokemon like Donphan and Yanmega can start dealing as much as 70 damage on turn 2 very consistently? And we'll start off with Michael.
Stage 2 decks are actually really strong in the late game. If you can actually get there, you're likely to win. You have things like Typhlo with Ninetales, Emboar, Magnezone, Emboar Ninetales, the Emboar variants. Those set, and then like Magnezone decks. Those decks thrive on late game. They're kind of like focus on avoiding as much damage as they can against the aggro decks like Donphan and Yanmega. And they like deal of one shots every turn once they set up. So I think they're really strong.
Alright. Drew, do you have anything to add about that?
Yeah, I mean, your stage 2 decks are basically looking to survive those first couple of turns, maybe stall with a baby, get tails a few times, force the stage 1 decks to miss a turn, of attacking and taking a prize. And then we have, first of all, I think the draw Pokemon are the most important factor. Your stage 1 decks aren't going to survive without a draw Pokemon, regardless, versus anything, because you're going to get judged eventually into a garbage hand. And nothing wins versus a garbage hand. You got your Donphan, your Zekrom. What are they going to do when they keep getting judged 3 or 4 times? And then so you need some kind of recovery. Magnezone, Ninetales. I think that's the key right there. It doesn't matter if it's a stage 1 or a stage 2.
Get in those Jigglypuffs.
Yep. They gotta survive, man. Knock your reversal.
Kyle?
I think it's kind of funny. I mean, the stage 1 are like the speed decks, like Donphan, Zekrom, all that stuff. They do hit hard right away, but nobody's really figured out an engine to make them consistent throughout the game. There's just no draw Pokemon, like no crutch to lean on like there were in previous formats. Like we had Uxie before, we had Claydol before, and now like Stage 1 decks don't really have that unless you're playing Ninetales, which requires fire energy, so that just doesn't fit in anything. So I think you kind of have to decide which one you want to do. Do you want to like go for a rush and try to win and really leave it up to top decking throughout the rest of the game? Or do you want to play a more stable deck where you can actually set up and eventually overpower your opponent? So yeah, Stage 2 decks are definitely viable. They might be the strongest choice right now, but we'll have to see how it all turns out.
So you actually believe that, say, a Stage 2 deck like Typhlosion or something would be stronger than a Donphan deck currently?
Yeah, I think so, just because it would be more stable throughout the game. I mean, once you get that Ninetales out, you can keep drawing cards. I mean, Donphan, a deck like that, only relies on supporters, which you only get one a turn. And if, I mean, you just run out of supporters or you get judged into a bad hand, you got nothing to fall back on. So, yeah, I'll definitely say a deck like Typhlosion in a longer game would have more of an advantage.
I don't know though, because Donphan kind of gets in there really quickly, and if Typhlo can't set up, then it's like Donphan just rolls it.
I agree.
Yeah, at that point,
think,
don't you run into reversal trouble? Like if your opponent goes first, gets a Donphan, but if your opponent gets first, gets a Donphan, knocks out your Pokemon, and starts reversaling your, say, your Magnemites or your Vulpixes, aren't you going to be in a lot of trouble? And isn't that an advantage that Stage 1 decks have that Stage 2 decks can't really take advantage of?
Yeah, I think that you hit it. I think that you guys are mentioning the late game strength of the Stage 2 decks like Typhlosion and Emboar, which is, I completely agree with you. The longer the game goes on, it's going to get to that point. But what I've experienced in playtesting is that the quick Stage 1 decks are going to go up 2 to 3 prizes early game, and from there, if they can just hold on long enough, maybe there isn't a late game for those other decks to take advantage of. I'm thinking of decks like Donphan, which are going to do 60 from turn 2 on, maybe even 90. They're going to reversal out the weak bases, take those cheap prizes versus anything that you bench, especially powerful things that are common like Magnezone, which a Donphan with 3 energy is just going to reversal out and kill, and then the draw power is dead on both sides. So I think that in that regard, Stage 1 decks do have that advantage still, and it's been the case for previous formats too, where the decks don't have a strong late game, but they don't really need one. And we look at what we just experienced most recently with things like Sableye, where they don't even need a mid game. They don't need anything past turn 1 to be able to survive. So I think that they're always going to have that threat. There's always going to be a threat of this quick Stage 1 deck being able to perform.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And actually, like, back then, Stage 1 decks dominated, and even then, like, Rare Candy hadn't been nerfed. Now that Rare Candy's been nerfed, that should hinder Stage 2 decks even more. Because now you can't just hold your Magnemite in your hand and be like, just wait until next turn when I can use my Professor Elm training method to be able to get my Stage 2 in play. No, you can't actually hold on to it. You have to risk that it stays in play and that they reversal it. That's got to be a pretty big deal, right? You were going to say something, Drew?
Yeah, I think it goes back to consistency in regards to the Stage 1 decks. There's going to be games where they reversal like that and run hot, but they're not going to hit every reversal and kill all your basics for the Stage 2 decks. I mean, it'll happen, but it's not going to happen every game. And then the late game situation plays out where they have the staying power to outlast the Stage 1 deck and ultimately win, I feel.
Well, it usually comes down to, like, how many prizes ahead does Donphan get? Or Stage 1, or the speed decks get. Like, if they get, like, 3 prizes ahead, the game's almost over. I mean, like, Typhlo and Emboar and all those decks can still possibly win, but it's, like, it's not likely to happen, because if those decks are, like, 3 prizes up, then all they need is, like, to just stack their reversals, and they can just blow them all at once on the last prize. So...
Yeah. I think you guys last week mentioned the difference between the skilled deck builders and the ones who aren't so good, and how big of an impact that's going to be this format. I think you're really going to see it. Like, it's going to be huge when you see those kinds of decks you'll have players who in their mind want to build a quick stage 1 deck, but don't have the deck building experience to have that consistency and that lasting power throughout matches at Nationals. And the same goes for stage 2 decks. You're going to see the players who, they can make a stage 2 deck that'll, it'll set up and power through things, but will it be able to withstand that early game attack when they need to? And I think that's going to be a huge thing at Nationals this year, seeing, who can have their deck run most consistently through the whole day, whole 2 days. 3 if they're good enough. 3 if they're good enough.
3.
Yeah, I
people
definitely
like to
agree
hear
with
me playing for 3 days.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the past 2 or 3 years we've basically had the same cards. So like the draw engines, the trainer engines, they were all figured out. Like everybody knew what they were supposed to be doing. But now we have this brand new format, just a brand new card pool, and it's gonna take a while for people to figure out what their deck should look like. So at a first tournament like Nationals, it's gonna be a big deal. Just a basic thing like, what's your trainer line look like? What's your Pokemon line look like? Just, there's going to be a big edge for the skilled players this time around.
Well, I think the edge may not be that big. We have 2 months we've had 2 months to test for this already. We're starting to run into walls and there's still another month left, and that's a lot of time for everyone to catch up. So yeah, I don't know if it's actually going to be that big of a gap, because if we know this now, if we know everything there is to know, and people just talk about it, and it'll just get everywhere. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you got to realize that an average player really can't figure this out on his own. Things won't change for him until he sees a better player with a better build. It actually is pretty hard to make a good deck, especially if you don't play with other good players. So you can be stuck with this mediocre deck and not really know it until you see something better. So I still think there will be a pretty big gap.
Every time I used to build decks, it was just used to be I'll just throw 4 of everything I want in here and just kind of trim down.
Isn't it going to be kind of a big deal that the card pool is so limited that you really don't have too many options? For example, when you were talking about last season, we must have had something like 9 sets available, and we slimmed it down to about 4.
We had 13.
Yeah, 13. Okay. Yeah, that's a whole lot of sets. Now you slim it down to about 4 to 5 sets or something like that, and 5. Yeah. Well, let's say 5.
5?
It's really relevant.
Call Legend doesn't even count.
Only about 1,000 cards to choose from. 1,000 cards can only give you so many options. Everybody knows that the good draw cards are going to be Cleffa, Magnezone, Ninetales.
Sure.
I think you can even stretch it as far as Noctowl if you have to. But you're going to have a very, very limited amount of cards. And then with supporters, they're very obvious once again. You're going to have your Juniper, you're going to have your Sage's Trainer, you're going to have your Professor Oak's New Theory, you're going to have, I think that's it, Judge, and that's the only Disruption card available. You're not going to have a lot of options. The numbers might be off here and there, but at the end of the day, everybody's going to be running pretty much the same cards. You're not going to see people running, off the wall things because it's just not available to you. You can't make a mistake if the cards aren't available for you to make a mistake with. I guess that's the big deal that I'm talking about. And does anybody want to add on to that?
Yeah, I also think it's a very luck-based format too. So inherently a lot of luck and coin flips involved. You got the baby flips or reversal flips. So maybe a mediocre player can close the gap between a pro player just by getting a few heads to go their way.
Yeah, the flips in this format are really bad. It's you can live or die by the flip, and it's better than what we had, but it's this is still a shitty situation for our format. But I think I would feel better about it if the Gust to Win card was out, because at least then I'm not dying to a flip. It's the same effect.
You're just dying to broken.
It's the same effect, but I just feel better about it.
I think. I'm sorry. Going back to what you guys were saying about the limited card pool, While there is a limited card pool, I think a lot of